Hi everyone. Right, so today I wanted to again talk about body image and ask the question, why do we focus so much on what our bodies look like? What is it? I mean, the whole society seems to be so focused now on becoming slimmer and slimmer, and the thing that I found is that if we're not confident about ourselves, we'll kind of compare us to everybody else, or actually it's not everybody else, is it? It's people that we seem to think are slimmer than us or better looking than us and look more attractive than us, and we instantly feel bad about ourselves. Why can't we look like that? And so we kind of go off on this quest to kind of become like these people that we aspire to be like, in terms of what our bodies look like. So I think for me, it's if you do feel confident about yourself exactly as you are, you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else because you feel fine as yourself. And it's always good to be healthy, physically healthy. But there can be that sort of need to feel like we need to fit in. And again, if we have that confidence about ourselves, we can already see that we fit in just fine in the way that we fit in, and we don't need to be kind of like popular and loved by everybody, which is kind of how I used to feel about myself. So like I said, it's always good, to be healthy, to be physically healthy. But if you're confident as you are, and you have a healthy mind, a healthy perspective, a healthy mindset, then you can have far more of a more relaxed attitude to your body. Because think about what, for a minute now, aside from aesthetics, what your body looks like. I never used to think about I hated my body. It was just something that I despised. It wasn't good enough. But I didn't appreciate all of the amazing things that it did for me. Now, you might hear this and you might, you think, well, yeah, that's fine. But actually, I don't give a toss about that because I just want to look like that. And I know that feeling, and I'm not disregarding that. But what I want to say now is that I have now got to the point where I can see the value in my body, not for just what it looks like, for what it does for me. It keeps me alive, for one thing. I'm talking to you now and I'm breathing automatically without having to think about it. I'm stood up, I'm holding my own weight. I can walk. I can dance, I can sort of like throw my arms in the air, and I'm doing all of these things and I'm not even thinking about how I do them. If I cut myself, then it will repair itself. If I break a bone, which I have done in my lifetime, it will heal. I've had 2 children. My body does amazing things that we don't necessarily give it credit for. So function-wise, it does, and I punished my body seriously, and it still didn't give up on me. Even though I hated it, I despised it, I punished it so badly, it didn't give up on me, and I'm amazed about that. So, so think about what your body actually does for you. Try and look at it in a different way. And I know that whole thing about because I very much focused on sort of what my body looked like, because I didn't feel great about myself. I was comparing myself to other people and I was feeling rubbish about myself, and I focused on that because I thought that if I became slimmer, if I became, sort of like less on the scales, if my clothing size kind of decreased, then I would feel better about myself. And yeah, okay, for a short amount of time, I did, and I felt elated every time I got on the scales, and it, and it became less. But I was obsessed, and it was never good enough. That great feeling that euphoric feeling that I felt initially didn't last. It was like, I guess, I've never done drugs, but I imagine it was like, kind of like getting high on drugs, having this massive sort of, euphoric moment, and then having the come down. And that's exactly how I felt. And so then, just like an addict, you've got to go looking for, that next hit, that next score. And obviously, as you kind of get used to it, it becomes, it's sort of like harder to achieve that euphoric moment. So you're kind of like looking for the numbers to go down even more. So it becomes obsessive, it becomes very unhealthy. And the thing is that, like I said, this society that we live in, everybody seems to be focused on what our bodies look like, etc. And so, if we wait for, the whole society to change, for everybody else to change, I think we'll be waiting a long time. But if you can change yourself, if you can change the way that you think about yourself and the way that you see your body, that's all that you need to do. You don't need to change anybody else. If you can start to feel more confident in yourself, in your mind, have a more healthy mind, you can see your life with lots going on in it, then the focus on the need to restrict or to use food, etc., will become less. Your life will become so much more. And so it's not about what everybody else thinks, and what society's going on, and who's sort of posting sort of like pics on Instagram or anything like that. You can't stop people doing that. You can turn your phones off and stuff, which is obviously really hard to do, because you don't want to lose touch with people. But you can change how you think about these things. You can stop these things from becoming a trigger by being more confident in yourself. And as I always say, I used EFT, Emotional Freedom techniques, in order to help me deal with my mind. And if you haven't already, then my book, How to Kiss Goodbye to Anna Using EFT in Recovery from Anorexia, which can also be used for other eating disorders, that kind of like takes you through a journey of my personal story, but now my work with other people, helping them to sort of feel more confident and relaxed in themselves and in their body. I take you through the process of how that actually works. And so if you'd like a copy, it's available from Amazon right now. But if you'd like me to sign it for you, if you want a signed copy, if you're willing to pay the postage and packing, I'll be really happy to sign it, put a personal note in there. So if that's of interest, then just give me a shout, comment below or message me. Okay. Thanks very much, and if you're watching on the replay, if you've got any comments or anything resonates, please just post into the comments there, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, take care. Bye bye.